Before proceeding, good morning, thank you. Before proceeding, as we discussed and I mailed also, that the first class will be uploaded on YouTube. So I have given the link of the first class YouTube link. From the subsequent class, you will be able to see on the software only. That I mailed also. In the software, the class has been assigned to all of you by yesterday evening. So even the first class you can see from the software. But from this class, you will be able to see only on the software if somebody has subscribed for app. In the mobile app also, somebody is not subscribed for app, only in the, laptop. So from this class, the recordings can be seen only from the software. If you find any technical issue, you connect with my team, they will help you. If the software is not yet installed or anything, you can connect with them. For doing live classes, no software required because I am not uploading the link of the class in my mobile app. Not uploading for the time being. I will be doing that in future, but not now. So a student can join the class live without any software from a MacBook, from mobile phone, from anywhere. They need to click the link which they are getting in mail, and just when they click the link, they will be able to join the class. For live class, no software, but for recordings, you need to use the software, either mobile app or the laptop, anything, so that you can see the classes recordings. And I said in the previous class which material we should refer. That is my advice. Rest is, anybody think that they should be using this material, that they can use, I don't have an issue. That I have written the material which should be used. Refer ACCA SBL short notes. Refer ACCA SBL pocket notes. Sometime if you are not understanding, then you can refer study text. CIMA study text you can refer. Then you will be doing Kaplan exam kit for practicing questions topic by topic. And then CIMA FLP student need to do some assignments because they have separate assignments. They need to regularly topic by topic completing the assignments so that they can achieve the target, maybe not November, but at least February, because their subscription is relevant for 1 year. Other than this, there is nothing to say. If anybody has any specific query, please ask so that we can proceed. Anybody has anything to ask? Any question? Hello? Any query, any question, anything to ask? So we are proceeding. So I started discussing professionalism, which you can say that neither in ACCA, neither in CIMA, there is no separate write-up. Just that, not in the exam, in our working life also, wherever we are working as a staff, as a manager, or we are giving consultancy, we have our own business, anything. We say that any qualified person, maybe a chartered accountant, CWA from India, ACCA, CIMA, any professional person should be behaving professionally. Now a professional person is getting the guidelines for professionalism by the institute for which they have done the qualification. A doctor is getting the guidelines from Doctor Act and all that. An engineer is getting guidelines, whatever course he is doing. Similarly, we will be getting guidelines from CIMA and ACCA Institute. The CIMA and ACCA Institute written so many things on their website relating to professional code, relating to ethical principles, that the student, me as a learning partner, or you can say with whom we will be dealing, because we are connected with the institute, we need to follow those guidelines. If we don't go into technical way, that what are the guidelines, English and all that written, then normally any institute, not only ACCA or CIMA, any institute will say that professionalism is covered in these 5 points. One is communication, commercial acumen, analysis, skepticism, and evaluation. Communication, as I said in the previous class, is not a course which can teach you communication. Whenever we are sitting in a meeting, in a conference, in a call with somebody, anywhere. We are regularly communicating with people for doing our job, for doing others' job and all that. That communication requires that you need to understand who is that person, who is that authority, what is their position, what they want, what I need to communicate, how much they know, how can I communicate them so that they understand my thought process. In exams, they are saying that is in writing style. When you will be writing the answers for the question, the communication should be appropriate. We say that wrong communication means we are not talking in a proper language, we are getting angry, we are not giving importance to whatever others are saying. If we are dealing with somebody, we are not explaining our thought process in a proper way. Somebody don't have proper knowledge, we are not making them known the proper way. That's called communication gap. So there is no write-up as such. Some detailing is written by taking from the study material and everything. But communication means this. Now, if you say what the institute is saying in communication while giving the exam, what is the required medium of delivery and what templates I should use? The question may be asking you write a mail. The question may be asking you write a memo. The question may be asking you write a PowerPoint presentations. Different type of format the question will be asking. If you are not following the requirement of the question format, you are not communicating in the right direction. So communication format should be there, whatever will be asked in the exam. This is for exam purpose I have written. Not I am talking about in practical life when you are talking to somebody, how you will discuss. The institute is saying for exam purpose, whatever the type of documents they are asking. For CIMA student, no, because PowerPoint slides they have not incorporated. But for ACCA students, in every exam, they are asking PowerPoint presentation. So for CIMA student, they will not ask. Then, what is my audience level of understanding and how much information do they need? If you are talking to a finance person who has very sound knowledge of accounting and finance, maybe you can skip something and you can go to higher level. But if you are talking to an engineer, you are explaining to CEO, you are explaining to marketing persons, because in the company, in the question, you will be given some responsibility. You will be given the audience detail that who are those audience. So you need to understand how much they understand, how much they know about the facts. And your communication should be such that you can't say that, I mean to say that I cannot discuss this, I cannot explain at your level. You have to explain your thought process so that the other party will be able to understand what you want to communicate. And how I made my points in logical and progressive order. That not only communication, in all the professional skills. Whatever I am writing, whatever I am saying in the exam, in paragraphs, how I can say them with logics. If I will say format, the format is applicable for ACCA, CIMA, both the students. It not only for, I will say, only ACCA student. This is a slide uploaded on the Google Drive also, in which they are saying initially for giving the exams, what you need to do, the exam format, time, duration, and then they have written all the formats which we need to follow while writing the answer. If the question is asking you prepare a briefing paper, there are many questions in which they ask in CIMA, ACCA both, that prepare a briefing paper. The briefing paper format, you will be writing report, briefing paper, memorandum, whatever they are saying, you should be putting in heading. That it is a report, it is a briefing paper, it is a memorandum. For whom you are writing? Who is the audience? By whom? You are in ACCA exam, different responsibility. But in CIMA exam, you are the senior finance manager. So you will be writing senior finance manager. Title, about what this briefing paper is. Date. If in the question date is mentioned, okay. If not mentioned, then date you mention today, because that depends upon the question. Now you will be giving an introduction that in this briefing paper, what all the things you are going to cover. Suppose like in the previous class, there was a question on briefing paper, first question which I read 32 marks, including professionalism. It was covering two portions. You will be giving an introduction in 2-3 lines, what you are going to cover in the briefing paper. And then it starts, you can say introduction becomes one paragraph, and then paragraph 2, 3, 4, 5, as you like. Depending upon your write-up, you will be making. Conclusion, recommendation, and further action. As if the question or indirectly the requirement are there that you need to give recommendation, you should be giving your conclusion and recommendation at the end. Can we answer the way it is shown in variant of CIMA based on question header? I will say that in CIMA, when they give the answer sheet, then generally they already write it is a memorandum briefing paper. And then they write sometimes to, from and all that. So you can use that, just you don't have to write to, you will be writing in front of to whom you are writing, by the senior finance manager. But this is not for CIMA ACCA. This is, they are saying that if we are in practical life, working, and somebody, our boss or our colleagues or anybody is asking a briefing write-up, a memorandum or a report, then what should be the format professionally for a report? So not a question of CIMA or ACCA. In anywhere in the practical life, this is the standard format. That if the question is related with the report, memorandum, briefing paper, how you should start? What should be the broader guidelines? Because in CIMA, in ACCA, professionalism marks is there directly. So if your format is not correct, professional marks out of 2, 3, 4 marks, 1 mark gone. In ACCA, you are the senior finance manager. That means one of the top management in level in the organization. So if you are not following professionalism, the marks will be deducted. So you can say that in both the exams, this is required. Yes, we should be writing, because that is the format of the report and briefing paper. To whom you are writing, by whom this report is prepared, what is you are going to cover, subject, date, then an introduction about that, and then starting your write-up. We have to write. Then if it is asking a letter, that you need to give a letter to somebody, to any organization, to anybody in another organization somewhere, should start with fake name and address of sender, name and address of the recipient, date. Mean to say that normally since nowadays we are not sending letter to anybody. Nowadays, what is the practical situation? Mail, WhatsApp. Maybe somebody can say that WhatsApp is not so professional, but message, WhatsApp, mails, or you can say meeting like this, that's the communication medium. Maybe because of Corona, but going forward also. So normally in the exams, the letter format is required less. But you all, me, everybody has sent a letter to anybody any time in life. We are writing to the name of the person, the name of the organization, reference person, the address. Then we are writing from where the letter is coming. So they are saying that the letter format should be like that only. If it is asked in the question. Maybe the question is not asking to whom you are sending, they are saying fake name, address of the sender, name and address of the recipient, date, because that's the format of the letter. Nowadays the letter becomes what? The letter R nowadays is a mail. So the chances of asking in the exam the letter to be given to somebody is less. Giving a mail, giving a reply, something like that will be coming, but just that a letter. Written as Dear Mr. X or Dear Sir. It's upon you how you write. Connecting what the letter is about. Now you understand there is, let me finish all the 3-4 requirements, then you will understand there are common things in all. Connecting what the letter is about. Letter, divided into paragraphs but not usually numbered. Maybe here you can number your paragraph, but in the letter they are saying that it should not be numbered. Should not be. Even though you are numbering, not a problem, but generally the paragraph should not be numbered. Finish off with something like, if you need any further information, please do not hesitate to contact me. If the letter starts, dear sir, it is usual to end it, yours faithfully. If it starts with Mr. X, Mrs. Y, it is common to end it yours sincerely. The letter should be as you are writing to a boss, to a senior person, or you are writing to somebody as a friend and something, then accordingly the ending should be there. Normally, so when we are sending mail, we are always, the sign-in is there. We don't have to write these things now. But in the letter, you write everything because the letter means you are writing on a pen and paper. And then you are sending that letter by courier to somebody. So that letter format should be like this. Normally, if you ask me around the last 2 to 3 years, they have not asked a format of a letter because that is not practically relevant. Letters are not used in now business communication professionally generally. If it is you are going to write about something to a press release which will be released in the newspaper, in a magazine, and you are need to write up for that. That is layout for a press release. The heading should be press release, name of the company, your company name, date of release, when it is going to be released in the newspaper, magazine, press release for what, and it is signed by the PR office. Now suppose you are writing signed by, you are not putting a signature, but at least you are maintaining the format. Many times in CIMA ACCA exams, I have seen in CIMA case study, mainly strategic level, and in ACCA strategic business leader, many questions are there writing a press release. Something happened in the company and there are thoughts or rumors going on in the market. You need to come out with a press release. Then what you will be covering in the press release so that the people, or you can say adverse effect on the share market, adverse effect on the price of the shares or anything. Bad things about the company can be reduced. Maybe the fact that we have done something wrong, but how can you write a press release in practically that they are covering in the headings? Then the slides and notes layouts. Slides and notes layouts is not there in CIMA exam because in ACCA they have a specific Word file, Excel file and slide layouts. But in CIMA they are not giving slide layouts. So in CIMA they are not asking slide layout PPT presentation. In a slide layout, it states slide 1, slide 2. Normally in exam, they are never asking questions that you write more than 2 slides. It is mentioned in the question, make 2 slides, make 1 slide, like that. So you will, if they are asking 2 slides, you will be making slide 1, slide 2. State notes after the slide bullet points. Suppose I am teaching in the class and I am saying that for communication we require a medium or a delivery. I can do this as a slide presentation, the 3 bullet points for communication, first, second, third. But relating to this medium of delivery, what I want to say in detail, what? Because people, maybe a knowledgeable person will not be able to understand only with the bullet points. So the slide presentation is specifically focused on the top you are writing 1, 2, 3 bullet points, and in the below you will be explaining those bullet points in notes. The bullet points will be, you can say 2, 3 words, 4 words, 5 words, maybe a type of sentence, and then niche, that bullet points you will explain in 2, 3 lines, 4 lines, not many, so that reader can understand what you want to convey. Bullet points should be in appropriate length and number. You can't put a bullet points, 20 bullet points. Maybe you are thinking I will be getting more marks. No, but that is not a slide presentation. The slide presentation, in 1 slide on the top, bullet points are 2, 3, 4 maximum. Avoid repetition. Prioritize, make a logical order. Normally they are saying maybe not possible in the exam. You write first bullet point which is more important, second bullet point which is less than the first one, third which is less than the second one, like that. But according to me, in exam when pressure is there, maybe we are writing the most important thing in the third bullet point. It may happen. But the normal says that it should be in order. Use proper language. Make 2 to 3 times as many notes as bullet points. If you are writing a bullet point of 1 line, they are saying notes should be 3 to 4 lines. 2 to 3 times of the bullet points. On the top, 2-3 bullet points, and then below you will be explaining those bullet points as note 1, note 2, note 3 bolkar, so that reader can understand what actually you want to convey. In a slides and notes presentation, the marks are very easy to score. Reason being that if it is a press release, if it is a letter, if it is a layout of a briefing paper or anything, you need to explain long. But in a slide presentation, they are asking long explanation. No, you can check any question which came in the exam and what they have written in slide 1 or 2. You will be able to find that the write-up is very less when the answer is based on slide presentation. For that reason, generally the questions which are based on slide presentation, they are maximum 10 marks, 10 to 12. They are not of 20, 30 marks, because they know that the student can complete this very fast. The write-up is less. Just they need to concentrate 2-3 bullet points, explain those bullet points by notes below, done. So marks scoring is very easy in slide presentation. That's just that we need to practice few questions on slide presentation so that we get confidence. Otherwise, maybe somebody will say, slide mere ko to aata nahi. Even though in practical world we are doing that in our organizations. Somebody is presenting us, we are presenting to somebody, that happening. But we mean exam, we take tension. Which type of format they will be asking, we don't know. Letter format they are not asking. But all these types, there is one mail format also. 1 second. Not written, you can say mail which we are giving regularly. Whenever I am mailing to you, you are mailing to me, then it is written to, then it is written subject, then it is written dear this, then all that, and then it is writing the mail in a paragraph format. Normally the mail also we don't write Roman 1, Roman 2, A, B, C, D, but sometimes in the mail we put that point 1, 2, point 2, 3, not a problem. The mail is also in paragraph format, should be written properly so that the other person can understand. All these are business communication and communication at higher level, because your responsibility in the exam that you are the one of the top management in the organization. Maybe you are not a board of director, like in CIMA it is senior finance manager. But in case of ACCA, they are making you non-executive director, they are making you CEO, they are making you internal auditor, they are making you every type of responsibility, but which is the topmost responsibility in any organization. So these are business communication which is happening at top level in any organization of the world. They are saying that you need to follow the professionalism of communication while dealing with other person, audience or anybody. So you can see that this is a format which they are saying the student need to follow the format communication. If we go commercial acumen, as I said, anything which I am deciding for the organization as a leader, because professionalism incorporates leadership. If I am deciding anything for the organization as a leader, then how it is going to affect the organization? Financially, non-financially. As a professional person, I need to think about the society, public interest also. Whatever my decision will be, how it is going to affect the public interest. Because I am working for the organization as a particular position in the organization. I need to think my shareholders. I need to think about my board members. I need to think about my organization, but not at the cost of adversely affecting others. So when the commercial acumen is applied, you need to think about the organization, their benefit, for whatever you are doing the job, but you need to always consider professionalism, which is public interest. You should not be suggesting anything which is affecting the public, particular sector or public in any way in wrong direction. Suppose there is a question in the exam which is talking about takeover mergers, that this company will take over another organization and all that. And you are realizing that the write-up which is given, on that basis, when the two companies come together, they will have a power in the market. They may be doing, you can say, ruckers or bad things. They will be charging higher prices. That possibility is there. Always public interest says that nobody should be there in the market controlling the entire market. Like suppose ACCA Institute. Why not they are giving the learning partnership in one region to only one person? In 4 cities, you can say 5, 6, 10 major cities, 10 partners. Why they are giving learning partnership to 20, 30, 40 persons? Why anybody new comes, they are given? You can say that there is a commercial acumen. When the learning partnership will be given, then the institute will be getting money. silver partnership, gold partnership, platinum partnership. Similarly in CIMA, we need to pay the learning partnership membership fees. So institute is getting money. Okay. So commercial acumen company, the institute is able to promote their course, more learning partner, more promotion in the course. They will be promoting, they will be getting consideration. Okay. But why they are giving more and more learning partnership? Why? Obviously, they don't want that anybody should be controlling the market. They are thinking about the public interest. Why they are doing the auditing in our case, that how many students we are teaching, whether they are passing or not, whether we are teaching regularly audit being done. Why? Commercial acumen, public interest. Commercial acumen does not mean that you will think only about the organization, about the person for whom you are doing the job. You need to always think as a professional, the public interest always should be kept in mind. And you should always not engage in unethical activities, taking bribes, giving bribes, or any corruption or anything. Till the time you are having knowledge that there is no corruption, there is nothing involved, you are correct. Maybe somebody is hiding something, you are not able to come to know, that's other thing. But for that, you need to always follow skepticism. That don't accept anything on face value. Don't accept anything, whatever anybody is saying. Do your critical analysis. Not that you are questioning other person that you are bad. But I will not accept anything once anybody is saying anything. I will do my research. I will question that person, that why you are saying this, how you are saying this. If that person is not able to explain, I will be doing my research. And a professional person like us, not only I am talking about doctors or mainly lawyers, chartered accountants, finance person, auditor, always if you are doing audit, skepticism should be in your blood. Because whatever the client's staff is saying, how can you accept on face value? You have to check internal control, you have to check what other person is saying. Maybe a sample check in whatever. You cannot accept anything on face value. That's not allowed. Evaluation. Evaluation means, as I said, pros, cons, benefit, advantage, disadvantage. Whenever somewhere the question is asking evaluation, you need to be very detailed. Some paragraphs, 2-3 paragraphs on advantage, pros, cons, some other paragraphs. And for doing the evaluation, you need to do analysis. Financial analysis, ratio analysis, non-financial analysis, competitor analysis. Whether you will be doing the analysis on your own, whether you will be using the documents or material papers, the analysis which is done by others, that's your lookout. But you have to analyze the things in detail from different perspective, from their different stakeholders' perspective, to give your, you can say, suggestion or write-up in the format which is required. If I will say as communication, the institute is saying that for exam purpose this. For commercial acumen, for exam purpose, the institute is saying that this is for exam purpose. Somebody can explain commercial acumen. But commercial acumen, when you incorporate in your answer, how? Institute write-up, not written by me, just written in a slide but taken from the institute website. Focus on variety of matters which will be affected by the issue in question. That means the issue is something, but how it is going to affect the entire organization, how it is going to affect others. I need to be long-term, I need to be thinking about whole organization, should not be hollow. Focus on relevant areas. That is because of that issue, what are the areas are going to be affected. Make sure any recommendations are feasible. Always try to consider people as well as numbers. I mean to say that when you want to give recommendations relating to any issue, if there is any calculation given in the question, in the write-up, some NPV calculations, ratio, whatever, or not given, you need to show the calculations, then you can explain, then incorporate that in your write-up. When you are thinking commercial acumen, you are thinking about the organization, and you are thinking about the public, you are thinking about the audience, you are thinking in total, you are thinking long term, what is going to be affected, that you need to write and give your recommendations based on logic. Whatever is the question, we need to apply commercial acumen. Maybe we are doing, you can say the case study is relating to a not-for-profit oriented organization. As I said in the previous class, ACCA CIMA Institute is not for profit. But how they will survive if they will not be able to earn more? how they will be able to give service. So for a non-profit organization also, commercial acumen should be applied. If you are suppose case study is relating to a charity, they are doing charity for corona or something like that, whatever, anything can come. Then in that case, I need to think how the charity should be getting more and more money so that they can do better charity. Because commercial acumen, suppose I am doing auditing or any suggestion for an income tax department, for a government organization. The government organization objective is not profit, but if they don't get money, how they will be serving the general public? And how the funds should be allocated, where the funds should be employed. When we are doing a question for not for profit oriented organization or a government organization or anything, then in that case, the funds allocation also involve commercial acumen. That how best utilization of funds should be done. The questions are there. When you will be practicing the questions, then you will be finding that the questions are of different categories. Analysis relating to that, for exam purpose, they are saying what information is available. Because in the question, in the pre-seen material for CIMA, in ACCA, the 12-15 pages write-up in exhibits, what information is given? What is available to me freely in the exam? Focus on that. I said that in every question, the particular exhibit will be relevant. So you need to correlate for this question, which exhibit, 1, 2, 3, which one is relevant? What information given already? How does the information compare? If there are for something 2, 3 types of information given, are the information saying the same thing? Or the different write-up, different information giving different feelings? Compare them. And what does the information mean? Or I can say that what is missing? What further information required? Maybe not given in the question, but you will be saying that for doing this, for achieving this, the company needs this. The organization need to have this. So all analysis is based on information already given. If more than one information given, compare them and what they want to convey, what further information you require to suggest something. Because analysis means analysis of the information given. Skepticism, for exam purpose, is there sufficient evidence to support the claim being made? Is there sufficient evidence to support the claim being made? That is, like suppose in APM classes, few students were there in the previous batch. There is a question in which the company CEO, the company finance manager is saying this about the performance of the company. The profit is up, the company is performing well. But whatever the CEO or CFO is saying, can you accept on face value? Or you will be analyzing your aspect. You will be asking questions which is logical with him. Why he is saying this? Or maybe you will be doing your research before concluding your whatever the CFO, CEO is saying. If not, what further evidence you require? When you challenge, you do. When you challenged, have you done so in a professional, courteous manner? If you are saying somebody is wrong because of skepticism, when you done your research, there is a way by saying something. Not that we should be saying shouting or in a language, bad language, slang language, we should not be using. Evaluation, exam purpose, create a balanced argument. Because evaluation means pros, cons, advantage, disadvantage. So if you are writing only one aspect advantage, marks are half. If you are writing only pros, cons you are not writing, marks are half. Create a broad arguments for each advantage, disadvantage. Explain them that why this is an advantage or disadvantage and conclude recommend. Normally in evaluation question, a recommendation asked in the question only. If not asked, you should be giving your recommendation normally. Anybody has clicked this link and seen the video? Anybody? Because this class slide shares already with all of you in the last class. Anybody? Any one person? In this is taken from the ACCA website only. In this video, they have explained all the 5 professional skills. This is freely available to everybody, not only to ACCA, CIMA student also. This is a part of ACCA professional and ethics module also. With that they give introduction, but this video they have given free to everybody. I am not running this video because this video is around 13-14 minutes in which they are explaining all these professional skills professionalism, communication, you can say commercial acumen, analysis, evaluation, skepticism through a case. Somebody is interested in doing a business and how they will be able to analyze all these 5 things in the business case situation, they have explained through a video. Very good video. I always, since last 1.5 years, 2 years, saying that the students should be seeing this video. At the same time, on ACCA website, there are videos explained in around 3-4 minutes each, maybe around 5 minutes. Only communication, only commercial acumen, only, I will say, analysis. 5 things the institute has explained in a video. From there only I have taken from those videos what should be done in exam purpose. But I will say that all the videos, this one and the 5 videos on all 5 professionalism will take around 1 hour of your study. But if you go through the video, your feeling will be better. Because something you are reading from the book. As I say, that is one study. Second, you are in the class, we are discussing something. That is second study. Third study is what? We will be writing something on our own. That's the highest level of study. So once you see the video, maybe you can write on your own some 2-3 lines about what you understood about professionalism. There is nobody need to write in the exam what is communication. When we will be studying other areas also, this is a case study exam. No technical write-up is required in exam. You need to be technically equipped to explain your thought process in the exam. If I don't remember what are the 5 professional skills, if I don't remember what are ethical principles, if I don't remember Mendelow's matrix, if I don't remember SFA model, no problem. No problem at all. If I remember, no advantage. If I am writing Mendelow's matrix and I am not explaining why this Mendelow's matrix is applicable, they are not going to give me any marks. For writing the model, for writing the technical aspect, there is no marks in the case study exam. You need to apply your technical knowledge in the given situation. So be open-ended while studying this subject. Because if normally we can say, only professionalism can be taught for 10 classes. Only ethics can be discussed for 10 classes. But we have exam to give. We have exam in November and we are discussing all the things in Monday, Wednesday. Basic technical knowledge about the entire thing. There is no syllabus for ACCA, SBL, CIMA, SCS. Everything in the whole world is there. Whether written in your books or not is a syllabus. Please discount this. So don't try to mug up anything anywhere. That will not give you any benefit. It will just give you brain pressure. You are not able to remember and all that. If I am teaching in the class and I will be teaching after remembering everything, इस जीवन में class नहीं ले पाऊंगा. Next life, maybe. I cannot remember any single line while teaching for this subject in the class. It's a very open-ended. You need to be open-ended. You need to practice in writing. Then only you will be getting the feelings. Relating to professionalism, there is no specific questions given. The write-up is that for the exam, maybe for CIMA, ACCA, any student, they are saying that when you will be writing your answers in exams, which is related with anything, you need to follow professionalism. And they have explained that technically in professionalism there are 5 things which the students should be knowing and they should be inculcating while writing their answers in the exam. So when we will be discussing any particular topic, any topic, and when we will be writing the answers, this professionalism will become bread and butter. Whenever I will be discussing any question, I will be saying the format. I will be saying that in this question what need to be covered. I will be saying the presentation. I will be saying that what evaluation analysis need to be done here. You will be writing that. Automatically professionalism covered. As the institute is saying that for professionalism there is no separate write-up in answer sheet. Neither the institute has written, neither you need to write. Whatever you will write, that will automatically be analyzed on the basis of 5 grounds. So no questions on professionalism, specifically questions given anywhere. Neither in ACCA exam kit, neither in ACCA, what I should say, anywhere. If the questions are given in the chapter, they are taking into other chapter. They are taking into strategy, they are taking into risk management, they are taking into ethics somewhere. And then on the basis of that, the question is given on professionalism. So we have done a basic understanding of professionalism, but it will continue in entire batch whenever we will be discussing any question, any topic, any answer. Okay. So I am proceeding further with professionalism without doing any question, because there is no question on commercial acumen write-up, nothing like that. It's just that you need to know before proceeding in the syllabus. Can you kindly explain a little bit, please, in relation to exam requirement? I will say that suppose I am the auditor of the company, or maybe suppose you are a CIMA student, you are the senior finance manager in the company relating to a particular department. There is suppose there is a complaint from a customer, and because of the complaint from the customer, there is some internal audit or internal checking done, and there is some conclusion raised that the customer has been served properly, the customer is wrong, and we have done this, that, all the things are said. Now it is creating hype in the market, it is creating problem that the company is not serving properly to the customers and all that, some issue is going on. You as a senior finance manager need to prepare some briefing paper for the board meeting which is going to happen, in which this is going to be discussed. That what is the issue, what should be the course of action, whether it is correct or not, these things. So you have been given some information. Now those information, whatever is given to you, suppose somebody of your staff in the organization is saying that we have done this for the customer. When they are saying this, they have done this. Can you accept exactly that they have actually done that? You need to see the proof. When the staff is saying that they have given the letter, they have given a call, they have served them, they have delivered the documents, they have delivered the goods and anything, you need to get a proof. You don't accept whatever other person is saying. You will be going into proof checking. When the other person is saying, definitely as like a lawyer or as a police or as an inquiry person, you will be having some questions in your mind. You will be asking that questions to those persons to confirm yourself. Still, if you are not satisfied with your questions with the proof, you are thinking that I need to go into some detailed checking. I need to check some further document, further things. You will be checking that. Now, whatever I am saying, that you need to write in the answer. To remove your issue, to remove your problem, to remove skepticism, you need to write this thing in your answer. Because in exam, we are not saying to anybody. We are writing in the answer sheet to cover skepticism to the examiner. So when something I am giving my views on the basis of some suggestions or something, then I will follow always skepticism in my write-up. Got it? Okay. Now I will, because there are thousands of situations. In every situation, we need to follow skepticism. Like suppose you are asking in the class, I have said something. It's not that you are questioning me. You have not understood something, what is skepticism. You are asking to me. You are following skepticism already. When you are raising a question, you are following skepticism. You are not accepting whatever I have said. Maybe you have not understood. Then you were raising a question, then I clarified you, your skepticism gone. So a professional person, we, you, me, anybody, should not accept everything on face value. What is written is correct. If we are doing Google search, for same thing you will write 10 types of write-up. Which one is correct? It's your lookout. Somebody can say that we can do Google search, but for the same thing you will be getting different things. Since the information is freely available in the market, for the same thing you will be getting 20 types of information. Which information is correct? Your call. That is skepticism. We should not be accepting anything on face value, whatever anybody is saying, whatever anywhere written, we need to do our research. If we don't do our research, maybe we will be going into wrong conclusion, wrong advice. That is actually we are avoiding leadership quality. That is, we cannot be said as a leader. That way. Okay. So now I am going into the first topic, which they are saying as basically ethics. because professionalism and ethics should be studied together. Maybe as per the, what do you say, index of the chapters. This is not the first chapter. This is 11th or 12th chapter. But professionalism and ethics should be studied together. Professionalism includes ethics, but we are discussing ethics separately. Now, I will say that when we will be giving exam for CIMA ACCA, at least 50% questions will be incorporating ethics things directly or indirectly. At least 50%, guarantee. You open any paper once we study this chapter, you will find that 50% of questions in the exams are based on ethics. Now the problem with the student, not today, in the last class also, I am giving guarantee. Suppose the exam for CIMA student on 25th. We are taking a class on 28th November. You will find that some of the student will be saying, sir, ethics का answer कैसे लिखना है? क्या करना है? ACCA student, when I will be giving the last class, they will be saying, somebody will be saying. So अभी से ध्यान दीजिए क्या करना है. फिर से, whatever we are going to study each technical in this class, whether you remember those technical terms, remember or not, doesn't matter. For passing the exam, your technicality is not important. But we are doing on Monday, Wednesday technical study. For CIMA, those who are CIMA FLP students, ethics is there in E3, in P3, in F3. E3, P3 it is more detailed, F3 it is slightly less. In ACCA students, SBL, Strategic Business Leader, we are studying ethics. In ACCA, SBR, ethics is there. In ACCA APM, you remember that the ethics was there. Similarly, if the ACCA student is giving optional paper, advanced taxation, advanced auditing, ethics is there. Only you can say that slightly ethics is not detailed explained in finance paper AFM. Similarly, like in CIMA F3, finance paper. Even though financial decisions should also be taken with ethics, but there the ethics is explained directly less, but in all the subjects ethics is there. Since most of the students are CA, CWA, done MBA in our class, so we have in CA, CWA Indian course, separate questions right up on ethics. And a student need to prepare for ethics properly to pass the exam Indian course. You all remember, मेरे को भी अपना याद है 25 साल पहले का, आप लोग को भी याद होएगा ही. क्वेश्चन ये आता है कि एथिक्स है क्या. आई से इन सिंपल लैंग्वेज, इट्स गांधी जी का बंदर. बुरा नहीं बोलना है, बुरा नहीं देखना है, बुरा नहीं सुनना है. That's actually ethics in simple language. Is ethics a law? No. Ethics is not law. It is beyond law. It is beyond what can be incorporated in any laws or regulations. For that reason, ethical guidelines are there. Ethical code of conduct are there. In every organization which are properly structured, in every institute course, whether you are doing doctorate, engineering, CA, CWA, CIMA, ACCA, every institute has developed their own ethical principles, code, everything. If you are working good structured organization, Reliance, ITC, TCS, TISCO, any company, you can say foreign organization, IBM, PwC, KPMG, Deloitte, any company, they have their ethical code. So why the organization is making their own ethical code, own ethical principles? Because it is not a law. It is beyond law. Something which is law, suppose companies act in India, Saraf Academy need to follow. उसको मेरे को ethics में थोड़ी ना लिखना है. If I am making my ethical principles in the organization, that is beyond law. Do I have? I have. When somebody joins in our organization, there is an induction letter that is given to the person that what is your role, responsibility, what you can do, what you can't do, what is our responsibility, what will be your remuneration and everything, what you can do, how you will be able to use the resources of the organization, everything. इतना ज्यादा उसको हम लोग फॉलो करते हैं. You say that कि वो एक डॉक्यूमेंट है हमारे यहाँ, so that it is a proof that the staff has understood that, accepted that. But normally since it is not a big organization, उस डॉक्यूमेंट को डे टू डे रेफर नहीं करना पड़ता है. That document is automatically incorporated when we work. But if you are working in an organization where 100, 200, 500, 5,000 persons are working, और मे बी मल्टीनेशनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में आप काम कर रहे हो जिसका इंडिया और अलग अलग जगह ऑफिसेस है, यू ऑलरेडी नो दैट कि आपके ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में एक एथिकल कोड, एथिकल प्रिंसिपल्स लिखा हुआ है. क्या लिखा हुआ है? इन दैट इट इज रिटन व्हाट इज द बिजनेस ऑफ द कंपनी, हाउ द कंपनी इज गोइंग टू सर्व whom, customers, employees, suppliers, what will be the supply chain policy, when you will be doing work, then what are the things you need to take into consideration, how you need to behave, who is your boss, what will be your duty times and all that. If there is any dispute arising in your work, whom you will communicate, what you will communicate, what is the whistleblowing policy in the company, if there is any problem, how the procedures to tackle that will be arising. For ethical principles, for code of conduct, there will be regular meetings, there will be regular seminars or something you can say. Then there will be practical training for ethical principles. That code of conduct is there. वो कैसे कोई लॉ में लिख देगा? Because law cannot be made for every single organization कि आपके यहां ये होगा. Your ethical code is yours. Nobody can guide you. मैं normally आज around you can say last 10-15 years I am teaching ethics. मैं बोलता हूं कि मॉर्निंग में I generally get up at around 5 o'clock. कभी कभी थोड़ा जल्दी, आज मैं और जल्दी उठा था because I need to be very well prepared for the class. तो मैं और जल्दी उठ गया था. लेकिन फिर भी around you can say 7 o'clock, 6:50 around, I leave the study and then I go freshen up, you can say bathing and all that, and then I do puja. अब ये पूजा करना कोई एथिक्स, पूजा करने से आई एम अ वेरी गुड पर्सन. देयर आर मेनी हु आर डूइंग सो मेनी पूजास एंड रिलीजन एंड ऑल दैट एंड दे आर वेरी बैड. आई एम ऑल्सो बैड. द क्वेश्चन डज नॉट से दैट इफ आई एम डूइंग पूजा आई एम अ गुड पर्सन और नॉट, बट ये मेरा हैबिट में है. सिंस बर्थ आई एम रेगुलरली डूइंग पूजा इन द मॉर्निंग, हनुमान चालीसा एंड ऑल दैट, वट एवर यू से. दैट इज माई एथिकल प्रिंसिपल, माई एथिकल कोड. इन माई फैमिली दैट इज माई एथिकल कोड. जब मैं ऐसा करता हूं तो माई सन ही गेट्स अप, ही सीज मी व्हाट पापा इज डूइंग, सो ही हैज आल्सो स्टार्टेड डूइंग दैट. नॉट दैट कि आई हैव फोर्स्ड हिम टू डू, ही इज ऑटोमेटिकली डूइंग दैट. व्हाई ही इज डूइंग दैट? यू कैन से दैट दिस इज माई फैमिली एथिकल प्रिंसिपल्स. तो मैं माने नोबडी कैन से दैट इन वर्ल्ड देयर विल बी अ लॉ कि एवरीबडी शुड बी डूइंग प्रे एंड ऑल दैट इन द मॉर्निंग. ऐसा कुछ थोड़ी ना है. आपको योगा करना है, एक्सरसाइज करना है, कुछ भी करना है, वॉकिंग करना है, कितना सारा दुनिया में चल रहा है. कैन वी से दे आर द लॉ? नो. ये आपकी मर्जी है. हाउ यू बिहेव, हाउ यू वर्क, हाउ यू टॉक इज ऑल एथिक्स. नोबडी कैन मेक अ लॉ फॉर दैट. हाउ यू विल बी टॉकिंग टू योर कस्टमर्स, योर colleagues and everybody is ethics. In a bigger organization, the laws should be there, principles should be there, who is your boss and all that, that should be there. In my organization, small 10-15 persons are working, that much detailing not required. But everybody follows some principles in life. We can say that that is ethics. So ethics is beyond the law. It is not written in any law book. It is your own principles which you want to follow in life. Since we are connected with ACCA, CIMA institutes as a learning partner, you as a student, so we need to follow whatever CIMA institute or ACCA institute is saying whenever we are dealing with anybody, those principles. So those principles technically, whether you open CIMA book, whether you open ACCA book, whether you open any Indian courses book, the same fundamental principles are mentioned, which are said as, in short word, I generally don't remember the things in the word kuppi. Forget the word kuppi because it is written in the books in Kaplan material. Integrity, objectivity, professional competence and due care, confidentiality, professional behavior. Do I need to write these 5 things in exam? No. Do I need to explain what is objectivity, integrity? No. Do I need to remember the 5 words? No. Why we are studying? If we don't study, how we will apply that in writing the answers? How we will be getting the pass marks? Or maybe forget the exam. I will say that normally when we are working, we should be applying these principles. Because we are belonging to an institute, who has great stature, name, CA Institute, CWA Institute, CIMA, ACCA. A professional person should never behave unethically. Never. Whatever may be the situation, he should always behave ethically. So whatever the guidelines given by the institute, principles given, we need to follow. So institute, when you write the answers, very much analyze. Ki, are you writing the answers? Are you giving suggestions on ethical way? Your pass fail depends upon your ethics and non-ethics presentation in the exam. Not there is anything write up you need to write on integrity, but you need to follow all these 5 principles in writing your answer. ठीक है, गुड है. मैं न्यूमेरिक्स में नहीं जाता हूं, बिकॉज मैंने बोला ना लास्ट क्लास में इंश्योरेंस मेरे सीए इंटर में आया था, 20 मार्क्स का इंश्योरेंस कंपनी, तो मैं सब याद करके गया था. पाकिस्तान पे प्लेड पॉलिटिक्स इन मैचेस दिस वहां बैठकर सब भूल गया यार. खाली न्यूमेरिक्स याद है, उसका अंदर का सब गायब. सो इसीलिए मेरे को न्यूमेरिक्स, पर्सनली आई एम सेइंग मेनी स्टूडेंट्स लाइक द न्यूमेरिक्स, बट आई डोंट वांट न्यूमेरिक्स टू रिमेंबर. मेरे को चीज याद करना है, मेरे को वो नहीं समझना है. वैसा यू कैन मेक न्यूमेरिक्स दैट देयर इज नो प्रॉब्लम. मेरे को आज भी याद रहता है. आई पास द एग्जाम, दैट्स अदर थिंग, बट परफॉर्मेंस वॉज वेरी बैड. इंश्योरेंस कंपनी 20 मार्क्स देखकर आई गॉट अनइंश्योर्ड. सो फंडामेंटल प्रिंसिपल फर्स्ट इज इंटेग्रिटी. इंटेग्रिटी सेज दैट यू शुड नेवर बी सेइंग एनीथिंग रॉन्ग टू एनीबडी. You should never be supporting any wrong things. मतलब कोई गलत बात बोलना नहीं है, कोई गलत चीज का साथ नहीं देना है, एकदम फेयर और ट्रुथ बिहेव करना है. अब you will say that in the question how it will apply. Suppose my boss is saying to me that do some window dressing in the financial statement. I am working as an accountant. Do some window dressing in the financial statement, because otherwise our share price will be adversely affected and all that. And I am bound to do that, since if I will not do like that, I need to leave the job. अब प्रैक्टिकल लाइफ में आप क्या करेंगे मैं नहीं बोल रहा हूं. एग्जाम में लिखना है, you should leave the job. But you should not be writing anything, discussing anything, saying anything which is not correct, which is not true, which is not fair. आपको एग्जाम में, मे बी प्रैक्टिकल लाइफ, देयर आर नो अदर अपॉर्चुनिटीज, यू आर बाउंड टू डू समथिंग बैड, वो बात की बात है, मैं उसको यहां डिस्कस नहीं कर रहा. बट एग्जाम में यू नीड टू बी 100% इंटेग्रल. इंटेग्रिटी शुड बी एट द टॉप मोस्ट लेवल in writing your answers. Integrity requires accountants to be straightforward and honest in all their professional and business dealings. कोई भी चीज छुपा कर, घुमा फिरा कर, we should not be saying straight. ये है, ये fact है. And we should not be supporting anybody who is not integral. Because अगर वो गलत है and we are supporting him, that means we are also non-integral. Only correct thing we should support. Objectivity, which you, whatever you will say, explain anything or saying anything to anybody based on proof, facts. Nothing you should be saying without any proof. You should not be supporting anybody. You should not be biased to anybody. Problem क्या होता है कि normally in life, sometimes we become biased. Suppose there is a job. बहुत अच्छा अपॉर्चुनिटी है, and Padam has applied for that job. Now by some way Padam came to know that Prakash ji know that person, the employer, very well. तो पदम ने मेरे को बोला आप मेरा थोड़ा सिफारिश कर दीजिए कि I should be getting that opportunity. Maybe I can say I have applied for a contract with others. I know somebody. Then I've asked him to the owners, to the माने approving authority, consider me as better than others. Normally practical life में ऐसा होता है, but this is, you are compromising objectivity. Why you will support anybody as compared to others? Is there any logic? Is there any proof? मैं तो ऐसे ही बोल रहा हूं यार. I am just saying that कि हम लोगों को एग्जाम में ये सब नहीं सोचना है भाई. आज कोई भी जॉब में, कोई भी जगह काम तो मिलता ऐसे ही है ना. दिस इज कॉल्ड करप्शन, दिस इज कॉल्ड, यू कैन से ब्राइबरी और एनीथिंग. आप इसको कुछ भी समझिए. लेकिन आपको एग्जाम में इनको फॉलो नहीं करना है भाई. मे बी इन प्रैक्टिकल लाइफ somebody can say that सर वो भी तो कोई और भी तो ये सिफारिश कर रहा होगा. नहीं चलेगा सर. आपको अपने बलबूते पे, अपने बेसिस पे जॉब मिलना चाहिए. मेरे को अपने बलबूते पे कॉन्ट्रैक्ट मिलना चाहिए. दैट्स द थिंग. इफ somebody else is, माने आपका राइट अप प्योर एथिकल होना चाहिए. यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड. आपको प्रैक्टिकल लाइफ में लगेगा यहां मैं ऐसा करता, मत लिखिए एग्जाम में. नंबर चाहिए, पास होना है, प्योर 100% गांधी जी का बंदर. तो ऑब्जेक्टिविटी रिक्वायर्स दैट एन इंडिविजुअल शुड नॉट अलाउ बायस, conflict of interest और undue influence to anybody. आपको जो भी चीज बोलनी है without bias, with proof, with facts and without any giving importance to anybody because of any reason, then you can say you are behaving objectively. Objective ऐसे हिंदी में बोलते हैं. ऑब्जेक्टिव मतलब सबूत, सबूत के आधार पर, फैक्ट्स के आधार पर. I will say in Hindi if we say. Forget about Hindi. The Hindi is written in the English format like this. Objectivity requires that an individual should not allow bias, conflict of interest, undue influence of others to compromise their professional or business judgment and infer independence of action. कि you are saying something on your own without being affected by anybody on your facts, proofs and for all that. प्रोफेशनल कॉम्पिटेंस एंड ड्यू केयर. कोई भी काम, कोई भी जॉब, कोई भी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, व्हेन यू आर एक्सेप्टिंग, यू शुड बी नोइंग दैट यू आर कॉम्पिटेंट. यू नो दैट. इफ यू नो दैट, देन ओनली एक्सेप्ट, देन ओनली डू दैट. इफ यू डोंट नो, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल अपग्रेड योरसेल्फ, देन डू दैट. All the institutes, what they are doing, if somebody has already completed ACCA, CIMA, Indian CA, compulsory professional development, compulsory professional education, मेरे लिए भी है. If I am a CA member, I need to regularly complete the compulsory professional education training. Because if I did something 10 years, 12 years back, there are so many development happening. I will not be able to do justice whatever I am doing if I am not becoming competent. तो मेरे को यह ध्यान देना है कि I will be accepting all the assignments in professional level as an employee, as a manager, as a consultant, as an auditor, anything, when I am fully confident, when I am fully competent. All accountants have a continuing duty. All we have a continuing responsibility. Why we are doing this course? It is a part of professional competence only. Know about the core. Know about the core means you can say that कि कोई भी कंपनी का वेबसाइट पे जाइए, सब इंफॉर्मेशन मिल जाएगा. छोटी से छोटी सराफ एकेडमी भी. आपको फ्रेंड से पूछना ही क्यों है यार? कोई ऐसा नहीं है जिसका वेबसाइट नहीं है. आजकल तो सीए लोग भी वेबसाइट बना रहे हैं. So why you need to ask him? When you are asking him for a knowledge, it's not unethical. But if you are asking him, you praise my CV and all that, then in exam it is unethical. Practical life maybe you and me we are doing, but that is unethical. Why your friend should be supporting you for getting the job? The deserving candidate should be getting the job, na? I'm not saying you are not deserving, but we say ethical is that only. कि जॉब उसको मिले, काम उसको मिले जो डिजर्व करता है. Employee referral is what? You understand that? It is said not to only Rahul. It is said to everybody in the organization कि आप लोग अगर रेफरल देंगे तो you will be getting some commission. Normally in many organization it is there. आप रेफरल दे रहे हैं, आप ये थोड़ी ना बोल रहे हैं आप इसको हायर करो. You are giving Rahul, you are giving referral of Prakash Saraf कि भाई Prakash Saraf can be hired in the company, but you are not saying to the organization you have to hire Prakash Saraf, you should hire Prakash Saraf, this reason, that reason. That's not. So how it is unethical? So referral policies are there in the world, referral students, referral, so many things are there here all over the world. But that is open-ended. That is not that you are hiding something, objectivity, favoring something like that. The other party have all the rights to decide which one they should select. So all accountants have a continuing duty to maintain their professional knowledge and skill at a level required to ensure that employers receive competent professional service, and at the same time they must act diligently in accordance with the applicable technical and professional standards. If you are doing auditing standards, if you are doing, preparation of accounts, accounting standards, whatever you are doing, the technicality relating to that you should be knowing. If you don't know, upgrade yourself, then only do that job, then only accept the assignments. But always take due care that the jobs should be done in the best way. The work should be done in the best way. That due care you should be taking. Confidentiality. As a, you can say, major person in the organization, as an auditor, as an accountant, anybody, whatever responsibility in the organization, we are getting so many important information with the clients, with the organization. We should never be saying those information to anybody, even to our family members also. आपने बहुत सारा मूवी अभी देखा होगा रॉ का सीक्रेट, they are not saying to their wife also, to their family members, nothing. अभी उसका था ना यार फेमस सीरीज, I forget, whatever. मेरा ये बोलने का मतलब है, you need to understand that what is your job in the organization and what confidentiality you need to maintain. You should not be discussing those things in a public forum with anybody with whom you can discuss. दूसरा जन सुन लेगा ना. In a closed environment you should discuss. Family man, yes. So I am saying that ki confidentiality should always be maintained. Unless and until as a legal requirement you need to disclose that in an income tax act, company law, or maybe आजकल बहुत ज़्यादा हवाला ये सब का केस चलता है, तो in that case you are bound to disclose that without knowing to the client and all. That is other thing. And should not be using those information for your personal benefits. When you are doing jobs, service, consultancy, anything for the client, don't use those information for your personal benefits. Both are confidentiality. Accountants must respect the confidentiality of information acquired as a result of professional and business relationship, and shall not disclose any such information to third parties without proper and specific authority, or unless there is a legal and professional right or a duty to disclose. Similarly, confidential information acquired as a result of professional and business relationship should not be used for your personal benefits, personal advantage. No. Professional behavior. You should follow laws, rules of the land, and you should always thinking about advising anything, how it is going to adversely affect anybody else. You should always try that the adverse effect on anybody because of your suggestion, decision should be least as possible. Should be zero, you can say. Professional behavior. Accountant must commonly with all relevant laws and regulations comply and shall avoid any action which may discredit the profession. Anything which is not good, which is affecting adversely, which is against the public interest, the professional behavior says that we should not be doing that. We don't have to write this. Just that relating to this, from somewhere I have taken and written some examples. You can say this is related with professionalism, because ethics is a part of professionalism. All the ethical principles are related with professionalism. Why we are studying ethics together with professionalism? Because they are correlated. So we have to study them together. One second. Ethics. Here it is written from somewhere else by me. The notes are already uploaded on Google Drive. There is no separate notes required. I think somebody mailed that, can I get the notes? I have given already the notes 2 times now. First, before the first class, I have given the notes links to all of you. Second, when somebody asked, then again in the second class link, I have given the notes. You can download from the Google Drive all, save in a folder, you will be getting all these notes. There is no separate to be given because so many notes are there. The first, integrity. This means that the members should be honest, straightforward. If they see something is amiss, they should say so. They should not try to conceal anything, hide anything. They should not turn a blind eye. They should not try to be ambiguous. They should state things plainly, bluntly. Objectivity means should be influenced by facts and facts only. They must avoid bias, conflict of interest, and undue influence. Professional competence and due care. They must keep themselves up to date with legislation, recent developments. They should not take on work which they are not qualified for or which they don't know, the skills are not there. They must be diligent, they must be careful. Confidentiality. Members, particularly perhaps those who are auditors, have access to information which is highly confidential and which is price sensitive. The information must be held confidentially. Members should not disclose confidential information unless they have a legal or professional duty to do so. An example of legal duty to disclose information can arise if a member thinks that a client or the person that they are working for is involved in money laundering. Because if your client is involved in money laundering, you have a legal responsibility. In most of the countries, you need to report to the authority. That is insider information, but you need to report. Many countries have a strong regulation nowadays that money laundering suspects should be reported to the authorities. Finally, there is professional behavior. They should comply with the laws and they should avoid any action which discredit the profession. So, for example, when they are trying to advertise their services, they should not say that other members are bad. I should not say that other teachers are not good. They should confine themselves to promoting what they are good at. Like CA Institute in India allowing the website to be prepared by chartered accountants. There is a guidelines which need to be followed, which is professional behavior. They should not rubbish other professionals. Should not say bad about other professionals. वो बोलते हैं ना attitude. I can do this. Only I can do this. Only I can do this is a bad language. I can do this very well is a good language. For understanding this, I have taken some examples. Explain why each of the following actions appears to be in conflict with fundamental ethical principles. That means what we need to mention. Explain. We need to explain, not only write. This type of question will not come in exam. It is just for technical study. Explain why each of the following actions. This type of question relevant for CIMA FLP students. When you will be solving the assignments, the questions are like this given. Explain why each of the following action papers to be in conflict with fundamental ethical principles. I should say with which. Explain why each of the following actions appears to be in conflict with which fundamental ethical principles. That means the point is given. You need to explain with which principle it is relevance. Appears to be in conflict with which principle out of 5 it is in conflict to that. An advertisement for a firm of accountants states that their audit services are cheaper and more comprehensive than a rival firm. Which principle we are violating when we are saying this? If suppose PwC is saying that this, then which principles they are violating? Professional behavior. Because I cannot say that I am the best teacher of the world. I am actually questioning the professional behavior. Suppose in one of the subject, there is 100% result of Saraf Academy. It happened. Suppose there is a subject, in one subject, there is 100% result. I don't remember in June 2021 exam, there was a subject, maybe PMFM, I don't remember, 100% result. There were 12-13 odd students, 12-13 passed. Then I thought that I should be writing 100% result on social media. ACC Institute said that you can't write. You can't write. That is unethical. They can say that you can publish that these are the students who passed and all that, but you can't write that 100% results because that is unethical. That is illogical you are explaining. At the same time, suppose there is somebody and in a subject there is one student gave the exam and passed. So if you say like that the one student 100% result, that is purely illogical. Here koi particular numbers to ho, so that you can say that. So whatever we are posting on social media, they are checking ACCA CIMA Institute. वो लोग regularly check करते हैं और अगर कुछ गड़बड़ लिखा है तो वो लोग उसको डाउन करने बोलते हैं. I mean to say, just as an example, it's everything is a business situation only, na? Ki since I am dealing in my business with those types of ethical things, so I am doing that. Exam में आपको ऐसे ही सोचना होगा कि this is violation of professional behavior. Nobody as a professional can say that I am only the best, I can do this at the lowest cost, others are bad. That is not allowed. That is purely unethical behavior. अब इसके लिए कोई नियम कानून एक्ट नहीं है, इसके लिए इंस्टीट्यूट का ही एथिकल गाइडलाइंस है. फॉर एडवर्टाइजिंग दैट आई एम द गुड, मे बी समबडी सिटिंग इन फ्रंट ऑफ मी, आई एम सेइंग आई एम गुड, दैट इज ऑल्सो अनएथिकल. वो भी नहीं बोलना है. एग्जाम में तो आपको यही लिखना है. मे बी सब जगह हम लोग जब भी जाते कुछ भी करते अपने आप को तो बढ़िया दिखाते ही हैं, बिकॉज एवरीबडी शुड बी थिंकिंग दैट यू आर द बेस्ट, नॉट साउटिंग. Everybody in the class would be thinking that I am the best student in the class, but you don't have to shout here in the chat, I am the best student, sir. That is unethical. But मन में तो सबको अपने को बेस्ट सोचना ही पड़ेगा ना. That's normal rule. Still they will not allow. They are saying that you can't publish subject-wise result. they बोलते हैं कि वो लोग subject-wise नहीं लिख सकते हो आप. You are saying two conflict of interest. What are the two conflict, Trideep? What are the two conflict? One is professional behaviors, for sure. The second is what? Objectivity. You are talking about second question. Sandelia is saying objectivity. How objectivity is violated here? If you say integrity and all that are relevant, one second. Suppose if I will say that I am the better than others, maybe we can question on the grounds of integrity. I can. But I will not want to question this, because whether I am good or bad, there must be some study done. For that reason I am saying good. तो मैं integrity बोल सकता हूं एग्जाम में. If you write integrity, it is not wrong, but I want to cover this under professional behavior only. Similarly, if somebody will say that objectivity means proof facts. Can we say that actually our cost is lower than others? That others are charging more? Can we say? Nothing is written. If you say that there is a question on that, then maybe objectivity is also under question. So anything, we can write all five. How can we say that we are the best? Can we say that we are actually competent enough? So we can raise everything, but the major portion which is affected here is professional behavior, mainly if we say. But you can incorporate other points also. And in exam, depending upon time also. More comprehensive, yes. But I will say that normally appears to be conflict with each fundamental principles. Normally they are asking one only, na? Normally. Maybe you can say. An accountant prepares a set of accounts prior to undertaking the audit of those accounts. This is objectivity. Because how can you audit something which you have prepared? आप अपने आप को ही गलत कभी थोड़ी ना बोलोगे. How can I say myself I am a bad teacher? Maybe I am the worst. Unless and until I am a Kalidas. So an accountant prepares a set of accounts and then he is doing the auditing of those. It is purely the violation of objectivity. That you are biased on your work, how you will be doing the audit. So violation of the objectivity. A director discusses an impending share issue with colleague at a golf club dinner. Confidentiality. Maybe we are discussing with other person, should not be, and others also able to hear that. So major confidentiality. Tridev, integrity. How can you say that this share issue is a wrong information? A director discuss an impending share issue with colleague at a golf club dinner. It is mainly confidentiality. Integrity if this is not a correct information. That they are not saying. The finance director attempts to complete the company's taxation computation following the acquisition of some foreign subsidiaries. The finance director attempts to complete the company's taxation computation following the acquisition of some foreign subsidiaries. I think competency, because he is not competent, he is trying to attempt. First of all, apply the competence due care thing, then only behave professional behavior also I can say. Maybe I don't know the laws and rules of the land. Yes, a financial accountant confirms that a report on each company is correct, even though the report omits to mention some important liabilities. A financial accountant confirms that a report on each company is correct, even though the report omits to mention purely integrity. The report is wrong, does not explain something, still I am saying correct. It is integrity. From where I have taken this question? From the CIMA Institute E3 material. From there this question is taken. Just to get a better feeling. And the answer is pasted here in the next page. When you will be getting the class slides, you will be getting there. Don't worry. But this I have taken from the CIMA Institute E3 material. Now, the problem is that you, me, or anybody don't want to violate ethical principles normally. We don't want. We don't want to overcome or go with the ethics principle normally. But we are faced with a situation sometimes where maybe unintentionally we violate ethics. Maybe. Those situations are summarized as ethical threats. Now there is no limit of the examples in the ethical threats. But the purpose is that every institute says that they are saying, we know that you want to follow ethics. But these are the situations where you may be facing problem in following ethics. So analyze those situations properly, and in those situations behave ethically, because that type of problem arises in those situations. And those situations are explained by all over the world, every institute, as ethical threats. That is the situation where maybe we will be compromising ethics. We should not, but maybe we will be compromising ethics. They are again explained in 5 points. Self-interest threats, self-review threats, advocacy threats, familiarity threats, intimidation threats. To explain that, the examples are given here. Self-interest threat. Under self-interest threat, one example is financial. For example, if an auditor owns shares in the client or employer. Suppose I am doing audit for a partnership firm and I am, you can say, financially interested in the profit of the partnership firm. I am doing audit for a company, I am the shareholder of that company. If an auditor owns shares in the clients or employer, the member could be accused of wanting the company profits to look good. The member could be accused of wanting the company profits to look good so that the share price rises, thereby enriching the member. So what they are saying? They are saying that I am the shareholder. The share price in the market, if it is listed in the stock exchange, will have a positive impact if the financials are giving good results. Higher profit, increase in revenue, increase in bottom line, top line and all that. So when I'm doing the audit, as I'm the shareholder, I'm thinking about my interest. Because I will be getting more return from the shares, dividend and everything when I will be reporting a proper profit in the company. For that reason, in most of the laws, most of the company law, if you are the shareholder, you can't do the audit of that company. But maybe somewhere, or maybe the number of shares you are holding is less than what is money requirement, and you are doing audit, still you are doing that, the chances are there. Normally in company law in India, if you are the shareholder, you can't be the auditor. I don't know exactly the number of shares and all that. Don't ask me because I'm not a regulatory person. But I'm just saying that in most of the countries, the laws are there. If you are the shareholder, you can't be the auditor of that company. Because you will be thinking about your self-interest and you will be violating the ethical principles. Which principle? Maybe integrity. You are reporting something which is not correct. Maybe objectivity. You are thinking about your own interest. Maybe I will say that professional behavior. You are for not following what you will be violating, don't know. But the chances are there that because of your personal interest, you are violating the ethical principles. You should not be doing. Conflict of interest means my interest is something else, your interest is some conflict. About a particular thing, you and me are not on the same page. That is called conflict of interest. So me as a shareholder has a particular interest, but you as a supplier, you as a financiers of the company have certain other interest, because actual profit reported, then only you can give loan. Then only you can give good supply to the company. But my interest, I am the shareholder, higher profit. So we have the conflict of interest. Yes, that is we are saying now. What we are discussing threats. That means in these situations, the ethical principles, the chances are there they will be violated. And the examples are given to say that how it is going to be violated. Because of the self-interest, how the ethical principles will be violated. It is not that we can say, we are discussing that only. That in these situations, in these 5 situations, the ethical principles are going to be violated. With examples. We are discussing with examples. It's not that we are discussing anything else. We are discussing that only. That what are the situations where the ethical principles may be violated. So one is self-interest. Under self-interest, one example is financial. Your financial interest. In that case, you may be violating the ethical principles. You may be. They are not saying you will. You need to remember that your financial interest doesn't matter. You are doing the job, you are doing the audit for the client. You need to bring the audit, do the audit with all the ethical principles. Close business relationship are also threats. For example, if a partner retired from an audit partnership and then immediately went to work for a client. Earlier you were the auditor, now you left the audit firm and you have joined the client firm. You have joined the client firm as a responsibility. For example, if a partner retired from an audit partnership and then immediately went to work for a client, they could be accused for having lined themselves up for a job, or to do that, they perhaps did not do their audit rigorously. A period of at least 2 years would pass before an ex-partner takes up an appointment with a client. Having a partner on the client board is also unacceptable. If I am suppose my chartered firm is Prakash Saraf and Associates, and I am doing the auditing of Sandelia company, Sandelia firm. Now, in my firm, there are other partners also. I left the partnership. And I joined the Sandelia firm as an employee, as a manager, as somebody. I can't do that. Because maybe earlier when I was auditor, I came to know some insider information. Or maybe when I was auditor, I was not doing the audit properly so that I can get the employment in this company. It happens. In big firm, PwC, KPMG, Deloitte, or anywhere, I will say, not naming them. When you are the auditor and when you are going to the client's place for audit purpose, you always think about better opportunity. It is not wrong. But because of getting better opportunity from the client, you are not doing your job properly. So normally it is said that, whether it is law or not, when you are a partner of an audit firm, you cannot be an employee of your client for next 2 years. Even though you leave the firm, but you should not be. And you should not be having representation in the board members of your client firm. Because that will be actually saying close business relationship. The relationship as an auditor, the relationship as a client, affecting the auditing, or I can say ethical principles. again affecting integrity, objectivity, professional behavior, confidentiality, whatever we say. Those principles are getting affected. That is, we may not be following ethical principles under this situation. We may not be. I'm not saying 100% no, but the chances are there. Close family and personal relationship. No issue. No issue, Sunil ji. Anyhow, Sunil ji, if you have done the first class recordings, I said that even though you do the live class, then also you need to do the recordings. Because these things I have studied many times. You are studying for the first time, second time, how you will remember? It's not that I am more knowledgeable than anybody in the class. I have done this as an experience holder. So anybody is doing the live class, then also you need to do the recordings. Whether attending the live class, then also. Because otherwise you will not be able to give outcome. Okay? Close family and personal relationships between ACCA member and owners or directors of the company. They are working with. Just that when you are chatting, Sunil ji, in the chat box below, there is beside two, there is a drop down arrow. Click drop down arrow, select everyone and then chat. So that we all are on the same page. Otherwise, if somebody is asking something, I am saying something, somebody will think what the sir is saying. So if we will chat in the class through everyone, it is better. Okay? Close family and personal relationship between ACCA member and owners or directors of the company. They are working with create the possibility of suggestions that the members' work has been neither objective nor independent and that the accountant did not show the paper degree of integrity. It is basically saying that suppose my brother is a director or the shareholder or you can say a major decision maker in any company. And I am as an ACCA member is the auditor of that company. Because of the close family relationship, the ethical principles may be violated. Whether the company law in India allow this or not, I am not questioning because nobody define in ethics what can be said as close relationship. Nobody can define. Whether it's a friend, whether it's a blood relationship, whether it's somebody, can't say. The ethics does not define close family relationship, close relationship. It can be. Whenever there is a close relationship possibility, then the ethical principles may be violated. Suppose I have the habit going for morning walk with somebody, with the neighbor regularly for last 2-3 years. Suppose. Now that person is a member or a director of a company. I am the auditor. The close relationship can be established there also. There also. So it is not, there is no legal guidelines that who is a close relationship. When the chances of close relationship is there, we need to check whether there is chances of violation of ethical principles or not. Loans and guarantees to ACCA member should be looked at carefully. If the other party is a bank and it makes a loan on a normal business term, for example, a mortgage, this would normally be regarded as acceptable. Certainly no loans or financial relationships would exist between a client and the member if it is not normal business for the. Suppose I am doing auditing for a company which is doing a particular business, but they have given guarantee for the loan which I am taking. Suppose I am taking housing loan, business loan, my firm loan, they are giving guarantee. Why? Why? They are not banks. If I am dealing with banks, then the giving loan, giving guarantee is the bank's normal rule. But if my client is giving on my behalf any guarantee or something, some questions are there. The chances are there that ethical principles will be violated. For my own interest, for getting loan, I am involving my client. Overdue fees. We say that whenever we complete professional work, whether it's a training class, whether it's an consultancy, whether it's an audit, the fees should be collected at the moment, should not be due. Why? Because the fees will be overdue. And maybe you will think that your client is under financial problem. Still you will not report. Because then in that case, your client will not be able to make you payment. So never a professional person should be keeping its dues outstanding with any other person. Every professional person should demand their money with rights in advance, or you can say with relevant time. Otherwise, overdue fees will be affecting that, the ethical principles. Overdue fees, for example, consultancy work, put the ACCA members some risk, as there is a possibility that the client will never pay the fees. This could lead to accusation. Any work performed, such as preparing a cash flow forecast or anything, will try to ensure that companies survive so that the fee will be paid. If there are overdue fees, the members should not make the situation worse and should not incur any more chargeable time until those fees are settled. That आप उस client के लिए काम मत करो, पहले उसको फीस क्लियर करने दो, तभी आप काम करो. Contingent fees are obviously dangerous, and maybe there is high percent. I am not reading them normally. If suppose I will be doing this, then the client will be giving me extra money. So it will never be there. Because in any professional work, there is nothing can be said that very good work, very bad work, average work. The fees should not be decided based on anything happening in future. The fees should be decided in advance. The fees should not be dependent on the profit, cash flows of the company. Because then so you want more cash flow, more profit, so that you will be getting more fees. Should not be. You should not be charging lower fees because you will be getting other work from the client. Because आपको audit भी मिलेगा, consultancy भी मिलेगा, certificate, so that you are charging less audit fees. You will be compromising your work. You will not be doing the work properly. Because in many countries, laws are there. If you are the statutory auditor of a company, then in that case, these are the work you cannot take from the company. If you are the internal auditor of a company, then these are the things you cannot accept from the company. Company law are there in all over the country, in all over the world. But ethical guidelines says that because of the self-interest, we compromise ethical principles many times. Recruiting staff, you don't become a HR person of the other client staff, client organization. This person, that person, interview, selection. फिर आप audit क्या करेंगे? When you are appointing the person there, then you will never question that person. How you will be conducting your work there? No. So these are all for your self-interest you may be doing. This will be affecting the ethical principles, should be avoided. Self-review threat. Simple. I am preparing books of accounts and I am doing auditing. So अपना काम कोई, what I will review. Whether I will question myself that I am wrong, I will be doing auditing properly, never. You should not be checking something which you have prepared on your own. Always try to avoid that. Self-review arises when an auditor does work for client and that work may have been subject to checking during the subsequent audit. तो या तो आप उस वर्क को बनाओ नहीं, चेकिंग करो, या चेकिंग कर रहे हो तो नहीं बनाओ. You should be doing one thing. You can't question yourself. Advocacy threats. If promoting a position or opinion to the point that subsequently objectivity is compromised. An example would be where you represent a company at a meeting with a bank to raise a loan. My client, there are many chartered accountants in India. They help their clients to raise funds from the bank's financial institutions. उसके लिए वो फीस चार्ज करते हैं, प्रोफेशनल फीस. But when I am representing my client in front of bankers or institutional investors, my client is this, that and all that. Whatever I am saying to the bankers, I have, you can say, a self-interest involved. I will be saying about my client always good things. Suppose I am representing my client in the income tax matter. For income tax, the chartered accountants in India everywhere present their clients. Yes, I mean to say that this is my professional assignment. But the other party, when I am talking about my client, I will be accepting. The other party should not accept whatever I am saying. They should be skeptical. They should be checking all the things, whatever I am saying, because I am obviously biased about my client. It is not that I am accepting this assignment as a wrong way, but whatever I am doing, whatever I am saying, I have to do that because that is within my job. That is within my duty. The other party, maybe he is a ACCA, maybe he is a chartered accountant or anybody, he should not be accepting on the face value whatever I am saying. he should be going into proof, facts and everything. So I will be getting the assignments as arranging funds for an organization, for my clients, tax matter, company law matter, okay. But the other person need to understand that I am biased. I am related with that person. Whatever I am saying should be judged on critical grounds. That way. That is advocacy. You will accept these assignments, but this is advocacy threat for the other person. Familiarity. As I said, I am going, suppose Tridip, with you on walking for last 2-3 years regularly in the morning. एक relation बन गया है. So maybe with the client, board directors, members, you are going in club, you are sitting with them, you are going for vacation or anything, or maybe, अरे भाई बोलना मुश्किल है. Familiarity threats means आप उसको और वो आपको बहुत बढ़िया से जानते हैं. Both of you know each other very well, and both of you discuss so many things together. It's not a question of blood relationship, brother, sister or anything. It is creating a familiarity threats, and in those situations, we need to check that the ethical principles may be violated, should not be violated. Intimidation threats. I am the auditor of a company, I am the staff in a company, my boss is saying this, if you don't do, you need to leave the job. Saying this, if you don't do, we will change the auditor. Yani ki because of the pressure from somebody, we are not able to do our work properly. डराना, धमकाना. अब नॉर्मली फिजिकल प्रेशर भी होता है, ऑडिटिंग ये सब में वो तो नहीं आता है कि भाई किसी को डंडा मार के आपको ऐसे ही करना होगा. दैट्स अदर थिंग. नॉर्मली दैट डजंट हैपन इन प्रोफेशन, बट indirectly, not physical intermediation, the normal intermediation are always there. If you are getting very huge fees from a client, understand. Suppose I am earning totally 1 lakh and I am getting from a particular client 80,000. तो मैं तो उसका सब बात मानूंगा. तो you should not be doing generally audit for a client from where you are getting huge fees, which is out of the total income of your firm is greater than 10-20% normally. अब practically लोग कितना इसको मानते हैं, that's other thing. But if you are getting huge fees from a client, whether you will do your work with all the ethical principles is a big question mark. Because client will be always pressurizing you. Do this, do that, don't do this and all that. So you are doing the work under intermediation, under a dar, under a fear. You may lose the audit, you may lose the work. So you are not able to do the work properly because of intimidation, which is creating ethical principles violation. Nobody is saying that these are arising on daily basis in every situation. The objective of the institute is that ethical principles we want to follow, you, me, everybody. But these situations arises in life when sometimes it may happen that not intentionally, unintentionally the ethical principles are getting violated. So we should consider these situations while giving our professional judgment in any case. So in exam also, if the situations arises, we need to give our professional judgment. If any situation arises, how we need to deal with? How we need to deal with? If any situation arises where you think that the ethics can be violated or anything, how we need to deal with? One second. It is written in Kaplan study text. 1 second. Which is general points only, just that I want to read in front of you. What are the general points to manage ethical problems? How we should be dealing with ethical problems? Sorry. This is written. Everywhere in CIMA, ACCA, any institute guidelines, ACCA institute, CWA. Ethical conflicts can be resolved as follows. When you found that there is an ethical conflict, there may be possibility that I will be violating the principles. How you will deal with the situation? Gather all the relevant facts relating to that situation. Whatever the facts are there, first of all, collect them. Establish ethical issues involved. That is, after collecting the facts, which are the ethical principles, maybe integrity, maybe objectivity, which are the principles are going to be affected. Refer to relevant fundamental principles, ethical issues involved, and the fundamental principles connected with that. Follow established internal procedures. In that case, if you are working in an organization as a particular position, in the company there may be an ethical code of conduct, the guidelines are given, follow that to resolve that. Investigate alternate course of action. Any other thing which can be possible can be done to resolve that. Consult with appropriate persons within the firm only. Obtain advice from professional institute. You can ask ACCA institute, CIMA institute, what I should be doing if you belong to that community. If the matter is still unresolved, consider withdraw from the engagement. Disassociate yourself. Leave that. Don't interfere into that because you are not able to come to a solution. More will be seen in the following chapter or ethical decision making. They have made a, you can say, a chart, flow chart. How can we resolve the conflict in any practical situation? Relevant facts we need to gather. What are the issues involved? What are the fundamental principles are getting affected? Go into establish internal procedures, and what is the internal procedure of the organization to handle those issues? Alternate course of action. Then you can say decide course of action, consider consequences of each action, consider consulting with those charged with the governance. If you decide certain course of action, what will be the result? And you should consult each course of action with the governance authority. Matter remains unresolved, consult with appropriate person, maybe outside the organization. Obtain matters is still unresolved, then obtain advice from a professional institute, ACCA or somebody, CIMA. Then if matter is still unresolved, withdraw yourself. I will say that when we will be in the exam hall, whatever may be the case study given, actually we need to apply this entire thing. I will say just an example. In the earlier exams, there is a question came that the organization for which the case study is given, it is said in the organization that they are hiring somebody at a particular position. That person to whom we are hiring is actually coming from our competitor organization. And that person, while giving interview, said many insider things about that other organization. Because of that, suppose my organization is X Limited. X Limited is going to hire Mr. A. Mr. A is already working with my competitor Y. But when Mr. A came for interview in X Limited, he is saying so many things which is about Y, which are very insider, new product development, this, that. And because of that, I hired him. Each X Limited is unethical in hiring Mr. A. This came in CIMA strategic case study exam. Now then, if we say yes, there is so many things we need to say Sandelium. Suppose if I want to hire anybody in my organization, don't you think so I will be saying relevant industry experience? That if I want to hire somebody as a counselor, I will be generally interested that the person has done counseling in my type of organization earlier, means my competitor. In anywhere in the world. Yeah, tell me.
Relevant industry is different from insider information.
Achha.
Well, if it's my company and goes to some other company, you might reveal my internal secrets too.
Yeah. So the question is coming that, obviously it was a question of around 10-15 marks. Okay. So now the explanation now when I am saying a practical situation, you understand that just this around 2 minutes back, once I started discussing this, सब ethical principles, violations सब दिमाग से जा चुका है. When I am giving a business situation, It is there in the back of the mind, integrity and all that. But when we are analyzing the situation, the more important in the exam, the relevance of that situation. What they are actually saying, which is saying as relevant facts. Who is the person, from where he is coming. Because normally, when we hire somebody, maybe that person has some agreement with the other organization that he cannot leave relieving letter. This is required. Maybe it is not written in the question. You need to write that in the exam. Maybe if the relieving letter is not there, is that it's essential that I need to connect with the competitor that I am hiring your person. I need to take an approval. Because later on, if I am using those insider information for my benefit, maybe there is a case against me with that organization. They will be going in social media saying this about me and all that. They will be filing a court case. There will be extra pressures in future because of just not doing anything else. The question is that relevant facts, ethical issues involved, where the organization may be wrong, where they are correct, what are the relevant principles, procedures are going to be affected, what are the options available for me to hire, not to hire, if hire, what I can do to protect myself, if I don't hire, why I will not hire, that way. You are getting my point. If he is doing this with me, with my competitor, later on he will be doing with others also. Maybe I am paying him extra for this thing. It will be affecting my other staff also. So many things are there. Matlab, when we are writing the answers, actually, when you see the solutions in the questions, I will say that out of 100 questions, 99 questions not writing integrity, not writing objectivity, any principles, any threats, not writing. The answers are writing explanation of the situation. What situation is there, what ethical problems are there, how that should be resolved, that is written in the answer. If I will say all course of action, yes, but depending upon time also. Depending upon what is, how much you can write. But if you read institute answer, they have to written 360 degree, everything. In the given exam time, say 20-25 minutes, I will not be able to think that much. But if somebody is writing a very technical type of answer, ethical principles, integrity, and writing one line, integrity is violated, he will be getting out of 10 marks, not more than 2 to 3. Even though you know technical, but आपको technical लिखने से तो number मिल ही नहीं रहा है ना. Technical का understanding को you need to apply. That you need to apply. By writing technicals, you are not going to get marks. Getting my point? Okay, maybe we are discussing ethical principles, the ethical threats and all that, but answer में वैसे नहीं लिखना है. Ethical principles और ethical threats को नहीं लिखना है. Answer is based on situation. You need to explain that situation in writing the answer. So actually in writing the answer, this chart is more relevant. Not the ethical principles and ethical dilemmas and all that. Maybe for CIMA FLP, when you are doing some assignment solutions, then you need to focus on ethical principles, ethical dilemmas and all that. I'm understanding. But when you are going to write answers in exams, they are not dependent on ethical principles a student know or doesn't know. So there are students who are very good in writing, who already, you can see, self-developed. वो लोग हर सिचुएशन को ऑलरेडी कंपनी में फेस करते हैं. दे आर वर्किंग एट दैट लेवल और बहुत अच्छा आंसर लिखते हैं. ऑटोमेटिकली दे आर रेडी फॉर द एग्जाम. Because actually the CIMA or ACCA exams, case study exam, each they are saying practical exam. It's not based on any write-up from anywhere that you can copy and write the answer. Not possible. Getting? With that thing in mind, I have taken a question from book. There is one question I skipped, which is explaining about some of the threats. You can refer later when I will share the class slides. But this is a question. Happy and Healthy is a traditional independent health food business. Happy and Healthy is a traditional independent health food business. Traditional, they are doing the business for a long time. relating to health food that has been run as a family company for 40 years by Ken and Steffi Potter. That has been run as a family company for 40 years by Ken and Steffi Potter. Owners of the company are Ken and Steffi Potter. And the business is running for 40 years. As a couple, they have always been passionate campaigners for healthy foods and more concerned about the quality of the food they sell than the financial detail of their business. So they are a pure, you can say, good businessman. They think that the financials, profit, cash flow, sales automatically coming if we will be able to supply good quality of food at the proper price. So they are always concerned, passionate, healthy food, organic food and all that, whatever you say. They are always passionate. They never see at the financials and all that profit ho raha hai ki nahi. Since the company started in 1970, it has been audited by Watson Shreves, a local audit firm. So since 1970, the audit is being done by Watson Shreves. Mr. Shreves has overseen the Potter's audit for all the 40-year history. Normally in many countries, you cannot be the auditor for more than 5 years, but here we are the auditor for the last 40 years, since beginning. Rotating the engagement partner. Oh, suppose in my audit firm, there are 4 partners. So 5 years, this partner, this 5 years, another partner, like that is done. And I have always taken the opportunity to meet with Ken and Steffi informally at the end of each audit to sign off the financial statement and to offer a briefing and some free financial advice in his role as what he calls auditor and the friend. So whenever for last 40 years when we sign the audit report based on different partners from the firm, he has always taken the opportunity to meet the Steffi family, husband, wife, at the end of each audit to sign off the financial statement and to offer a briefing and some free financial advice so that you can be treated as an auditor and a friend also. In these briefing, Mr. Shreves, who has become a close family friend of the Potters over the years, always points out that the business is profitable. In these briefings, Mr. Shreves, who has become a close family friend, in 40 years you are doing audit, you have become close family friend of the Potters over the years, always points out that business is profitable, which the Potters already knew without knowing the actual figures. The husband, wife already know, but you have the responsibility, you say them business is going well and all that. And how they might increase their margins. But the Potters have never been too concerned about financial performance as long as they can provide a good service to their customers, make enough to keep the business going and provide continued employment for themselves and their son Ivan. So the husband and wife, that is the family to whom you, as an auditor, I am saying they are never looking at my thought process because they are thinking about managing their business in core areas, quality products and all that. While Ken and Steffi still retain a majority shareholding in the company, they have gradually increased Ivan's proportion over the years. Their son proportion in the family has gone up. Currently owns 60% to Ivan's 40%. 60% husband-wife, 40% son. Ivan was appointed as a director alongside Ken and Steffi in 2008. So son is also appointed as director. Ivan grew up in the business and has helped his parents out since he was a young boy. Business ke saath hi he has developed. As he grew up, Ken and Steffi gave him more and more responsibility in the hope that he would one day take the business over. Obviously, by the end of 2009, Ken made sure that Ivan drew more salary than Ken and Steffi combined as they sought to ensure that Ivan was happy to continue in the business after they retired. By the end of 2009, Ken made sure, husband you can say, that Ivan drew more salary than Ken and Steffi combined as they sought to ensure that Ivan was happy to continue in the business after they retired. During the audit for the year ended March 2010, a member of the Watson Reeves was performing the audit as usual when he noticed a dramatic drop in the profitability of the business as a whole. Some of the audit firm member are doing audit and the profit has fallen. He noticed that while food sales continued to be profitable, sale is good, a large amount of inventory had been sold below cost to Barong company with no further explanations, and it was this that had caused the reduction in the company's operating income. Why this Barong company has been sold maximum goods at a lesser price? Each transaction with Barong company had the invoice sold been authorized by the Ivan. So all the transactions to the Barong company are signed by Ivan, the son. Mr. Reeves was certain Ken and Steffi would not know anything about this because they are the parents, and he prepared to tell them about it as a part of his annual and end of audit meeting. That is, every year he is doing for 40 years. Before the meeting, however, he carried out some checks on Barong company and found that it was a separate business owned by Ivan and his wife. माने मम्मी पापा से झगड़ा करने वाला है. Mr. Reeves' conclusion was that Ivan was effectively stealing from Happy and Healthy to provide inventory of Barong company at a highly discounted cost price. Although Mr. Reeves now had to recommend certain disclosures to the financial statement in this meeting, his main fear अपने आदमी से धोखा. His main fear was that Ken and Steffi would be devastated if they found out that Ivan was stealing and that it would have long-term implications for their family, relationship and the future of Happy and Healthy. ये तो मूवी चल रहा है. It is running a movie. Discuss the professional and ethical dilemma. Discuss the professional and ethical dilemma facing Mr. Reeves in deciding whether or not to tell Ken and Steffi about Ivan's activity. Advise Mr. Reeves of the most appropriate course of action. What is the question? Discuss. Discuss. What? The professional and ethical dilemma. The professional and ethical dilemma which Mr. Reeves is facing, the auditor, in deciding whether or not to tell Ken and staff about Ivan's activity. Advise Mr. Reeves of the most appropriate course of action. There are two parts in the question. First part is this, which is one part, and the second part is this. One second, we are coming. Advise Mr. Reeves of the most appropriate course of action. It is 10 marks question. This type of question will be coming in exam? Yes, not like this, because it is a case study exam. In CIMA, around 25-30 pages pre-seen, then in the unseen in the exam. In ACCA, 12 to 15 pages, then the questions. In this question, the information about the company and all that is given together along with the issue. But in the exam, the issue will be given in the exam. That what is happening. But the case study detail not to be given again. So the write-up in the question will be less to read. Suppose I am talking about CIMA student, it will not be such lengthy write-up, no. It will be half of the write-up which will be, but there are thousands of situations like this will be given in the exam as unseen. In ACCA student, there will be an exhibit relating to this situation given. First of all, they give the business detail, what they are doing and all that. And in exhibit, one situation they have given. And then there is a question of 10 marks which is given. As I discussed that in reading and all that, planning some time will be going. Normally, for 10 marks question, you will be getting around for write-up 10 into 1.4, 1.5 minute to write. Around 15 minutes. 15 minutes means 15 into 1.5. Around 20, 22, 25 lines. That's maximum. And that also you need to cover two things. One is discuss the professional and ethical dilemma, and then advise Mr. Reeves what actually he should be doing, man. When you are advising Either you write the advice as a separate, or you advise with the dilemma only. You write the advising part in a different paragraph. That's upon you. Your way of presentation, nobody can challenge you. But अब यहां पर हमको सेल्फ इंटरेस्ट, सेल्फ रिव्यू, और आई कैन से दैट, वो लिखना जरूरी है? नहीं जरूरी है. आप लिख रहे हो कोई बात नहीं, बिकॉज अभी हमने पढ़ा है, यू रिमेंबर, मे बी बाई द टाइम एग्जाम कम्स यू फॉरगेट सेल्फ रिव्यू, सेल्फ इंटरेस्ट, इंटरमीडिएशन, एडवोकेसी एंड सो मेनी थिंग्स यू मे फॉरगेट. कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. बिलीव मी, when the institute is writing answers, 80% of the times they are not mentioning self review, self interest threats and all that. आपको threats अपनी लैंग्वेज में बताना है. Discuss the professional and ethical problem which Mr. S is facing in deciding whether or not to tell. तो Mr. S को प्रॉब्लम्स क्या चीज का है, बताए या क्यों नहीं बताए? What it is written in the question that he has developed a family relationship with them for last 40 years, doing audit with them, doing audit of that company for 40 years. So he is not only as an auditor, he has becomes an important person for that organization. And if the organization main person, you can say son in daughter-in-law is doing something like that, how to say something to that type? Because maybe Mr. Potter family is, the parents are very old age. They are very old age. They are maybe around 60, 65 years. They are already giving everything to their son. Already they have made a plan. It will be affecting them here. Maybe heart attack. वो भी हो सकता है, कुछ भी हो सकता है यार. तो मेरा क्या बोलने का मतलब, एक प्रॉब्लम आ रहा है एज अ, यू कैन सी, एज अ रिलेटिव, एज अ वेल विशर, हाउ आई विल से. The second, as a professional person, my job, I am the auditor. My job to bring the facts, all the important things, relevant things in front of the stakeholders, in front of them to whom I am reporting. My job as compared to any family relationship or anything is more important as a professional. As a professional. The dilemma is there, bole, nahi bole. Suppose there is a student not studying properly and he is giving exam, he or she. I should say whether he should give exam, whether he will pass or not pass, whether I should say or not. मेरे ख्याल से सबसे पहला बात ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. We should talk to the son. Because we have done our research. We have done the research that there is a fault. Why not to talk with Ivan directly? Before telling, maybe अभी हिंदी मूवी के जैसे मेरे को मार दिया जाएगा, that's other thing. But I should be doing that. I should be communicating to Ivan and his wife why they are doing this. What is the reason? What is going on in their mind? And I should be telling them why not they communicate to their parents on their own. अब सोचिए कि ये चीज कहां लिखा हुआ है एथिक्स में जो हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं, कहां लिखा हुआ है? If somebody will say that I know ethical principles, ethical dilemma, in the exam, how you need to apply that you understand. समझिए क्वेश्चन. And there are millions of situations possible like this. Somebody will say that sir मेरे को ethics नहीं आता है. अरे यार मेरे को भी नहीं आता है. मेरे को भी ethical principles exactly line में लिखना, मेरे को ये situation समझ में आ रहा है कि I should be telling to the son that why not he communicate to their parents. Suppose he will say that he has communicated in front of me. He need to communicate in front of me because already I know. When I already know, there is no hiding thing to possible. So he should be saying all the things to his friend in front of me, all the facts, then my tension is over. And if he is not doing that within a particular time, then as a professional person, as a member of the institute, as a professional person, my duty to disclose them. Because going forward, the problem will be arising. The family business which is running for 40 years is going to be affected in terms of cash flow, profitability, what issues are going to happen, how it is transferred, what is happening, I need to report. आप समझिए कि क्वेश्चन का आंसर लिखने में आपको एथिकल प्रिंसिपल्स कितना याद रखना है. Only for CIMA FLP students if you are solving assignments, that's all. When you are going to give exam for case study, आपको एथिकल प्रिंसिपल्स डिलेमा याद है कि नहीं, ये कोई मतलब नहीं है. कोई मतलब नहीं. You need to deal every question as a practical situation. Till the time you are not going into that direction, the write-up can never be good. The students are saying that CIMA case study, student management case study. Sir, I know everything. Sir, I studied so many questions, but I could not write anything in the exam. Because you were thinking it is an exam. Till the time you think SCS, strategic business leader or anything as an exam, आप आंसर नहीं लिख पाओगे. जब आप क्वेश्चंस पढ़ रहे हैं, आपको फील कितना आ रहा है? What, when you are reading the situations, how much you are bringing yourself in this situation, and then तो क्वेश्चन का आंसर as per requirement लिखना है. When I am writing this, all the professionalism I am covering, all the things I am covering. But मेरे को ethical principles, dilemma, self interest, self review नहीं लिखने का मन है. मेरे को नहीं लिखना है. क्या प्रॉब्लम है? What's the issue? The problem is there is familiarity threats is there because I am a family member of them, have a good relationship. How I will tell them? Maybe there is intimidation possible because son is saying that if you say to my parents, I will not leave you. क्या करूं मैं? You can write those things. I am not questioning. But आपको intimidation ये सब लिखने का वर्ड का जरूरत नहीं है. Please understand in the first class only that you will say in the last class, sir, I don't remember ethics. अरे यार मेरे को भी नहीं आता है, आपको मैं कहां से बताऊं? The situation are very practical and you need to write the answers in that way. From where this question is taken? From the exam kit, question number 6. In the exam kit, question number 6 is there and the answer is written. Let's read me. The normal behavior of the auditor, regardless of the opinion available in this situation, would be initially seek representations from Ivan to establish whether there is an explanation that has so far been overlooked or not known about. Following that, there are two options to Mr. S. Not getting. Your answer of talking to son should be done objectively. I am saying objectively only. I am not saying I am supporting him. I am just saying that we need to first of all, before giving heart attack to the parents, at least discuss with the son. That I am saying.
But I didn't get that idea when I was reading the case study. So I was always taking a side. So until you do that objective thinking, like even if
until you bring yourself in this situation, you will not be good. That way. If you are thinking it is an answer for a question, your answer will not be good.
Yeah. Is it okay if we take any, like if the case study is very,
there will be marks deduction because you have given one portion of write-up, another area you have not mentioned. So you are not giving 360-degree view. So definitely deduction of marks will be there. Because examiner will be given a guidelines that if the student is writing discussion with the Ivan, then there will be marks given. That discussion is not done, that marks gone.
okay, good, thank you, sir.
Yeah. So to tell or not tell Ken and Staffy about Ivan's behavior in discussing this, that is the dilemma. Dilemma of discussion. Mr. S is clearly in difficult situation, but he must be aware of the duty as a professional accountant. He has a duty of due care and diligence to society and government as well as the shareholder of the company. Being conflict in Ivan's activity is clearly not an option, as this would be incompatible with his duties to shareholders and a society, his role as an auditor. He owes a debt to the Potter family as a long-standing family friend, and this has the potential to cloud his judgment as the company's auditor. The case says that the effect of Ken and Staffy finding out about Ivan's theft could be devastating, and this is bound to weigh heavily on Mr. S' mind. In getting too close to the family, Mr. S has compromised his duty as an auditor, as he is probably less objective than should be. He should probably have chosen between being a family friend or being the auditor. Ivan has been unprofessional and has acted fraudulently in his dealing with the happy and family. In such a situation, the auditor does not have a latitude how he or she deals with a discovery. It is a very serious breach of trust by Ivan, regardless of whether he is the potter's son or not. Advice: given that the auditor has a duty to public interest and the company shareholder, he should inform the majority shareholders what he has found during audit. To do anything other than this would be to act unprofessionally and irresponsibly towards the majority shareholders. Family relationship or friends must never be allowed to interfere with the auditor professional duty. This approach need not be in the form of blunt confrontation, however, and it would not be unprofessional to speak with Ivan before he speaks his parents in order to convey him to the potential seriousness of this action. 2 marks for each relevant issue in dilemma and 2 marks for each relevant point for advice, what he should be doing. Now, obviously, if there are 1,000 students writing the answer, everybody will have a different English. Everybody. English is not a question. Question is that, are we writing the answer for the question? Are we covering the aspects which is required in the question? You can say few words in italics according to them that are, you can say, if the student will be using them, it will be looking good. Because some technicality we need to bring. So those italics words are basically technical words they are writing. Somewhere you will see that in the answers many times they have written something as a bold. Bold means that is very important to be covered in the answer. You can, but I said in the previous class, the time pressure will at such a high mounted on you that you will not be able to do this. We want to do that, everything bold, underline, something important, this, that, but you will not be getting time. The student who scored very good marks, they have also not done. So it's actually you should be doing, but you will not get time. Because when you read the question, you plan the answer, you start writing, all these bold italics and all that will go out of your mind. You are just thinking about completing the paper in time, that way. But if anybody does that, it is very well. Why not? So you can see that it is just an example how the ethics question will be coming in the exam. The ethics. Time matters in professional exam than presentation. I will say that if for good presentation you are leaving 20 marks paper, 10 marks paper, not advisable. If along with 100 marks paper full solved, you can manage italics, underline and all that, you can. But at the cost of leaving the paper for 10, 12 marks, you are thinking of italics and all that. Don't do that. Because that will be adversely affecting your passing. That is my suggestion. Because that is written by the institute also. Okay, there are window features. Whenever we open window, there are so many window features are there. In exam, you are not getting all these features. Some 10 features are there. But out of that 10 also, a student will be using 1 or 2 features only. Because they will not be getting time to do all this. Written in the Kaplan, exam kit, study text, CIMA answer sheet, everywhere. CIMA examiners comment, they are saying that we will not be able to use that. Because time pressure is very high. That way. लेकिन अगर किसी का स्पीड बढ़िया है और वो ये चीज मैनेज कर सकते हैं, करो भाई, कौन मना कर रहे हैं? बढ़िया तो होएगा ही. It will look good only. Okay? Now, in the revision kit or in the study text, they have written about corruption, bribery. Obviously, I should not be involving into any corruption or any giving, bribing, receiving bribery or anything, nothing. I should be a pure integral person. How can we judge that in any situation they are being adhered to? There is a technical write-up written as Tucker's 5-question model. Tucker's 5-question model says that if you want to avoid corruption, bribery and all that, then in that case follow these 5 things in life. Each the thing which we are discussing is profitable, is it legal, is it fair, is it right, and is it sustainable or environmentally sound? How we, simple meaning, dictionary meaning we can understand, but how this will be applied in avoiding corruption and all that, they have given one example. I am reading because very important. Big company is planning to build a new factory in a developing country. Analysis shows that new factory investment will be more profitable than alternative because of the cheaper labor and labor cost. Suppose there is a company from US want to open a factory in China or India, and it is going to be very profitable because in India, China, they will be getting cheap labor, cheap resources. The government, because India is a developing country, the government of the developing country, India, has helped the company with its legal compliances. Indian government is helping to set up the business, which is now fully complete. And the local population is anxiously waiting for the jobs, which will in turn bring much needed economic growth to the developing country. In India, huge unemployment because huge population, people want employment. So they are saying that this will be creating good employment. This will be creating good employment in India. So the people are waiting that the company starts, factory starts. The factory is to build, no issue. The factory is to build an reclaimed brownfield land and will produce a lower unit rate of environmental emissions. The pollution will be less because of this factory. If we judge on the basis of ethical principles, on the basis of corruption or anything that we got Indian government corruption वगैरह देकर हमने किया, हम लोग 5 things देख सकते हैं. Is this profitable? Obviously they have said that this is profitable venture. The investment will enable the company to make a superior return. The case explains that there is because of cheaper labor. So by this investment, the shareholder, the financiers of the company will be getting benefited. It is profitable. Is it legal? The government of developing country allowing us, helping us to do complete all the formalities. So it is purely legal. Is it fair? As far as we can tell, the only shareholder mentioned in the scenario is the workforce of the developing country. And they are eagerly waiting that the company starts. The scenario does not mention any other stakeholders adversely affected. So as fair means you need to think about stakeholders. Legal means you need to think about whether you are doing anything legal or illegal. Profitability you need to think, right? The scenario explains that the factory will help a developing country with needed economic growth and no counter argument are given. That means you can say that whether it is good for the entire community and sustainability environment, CSR. The scenario specifically mentions an environmental advantage from the investment. In the especially that the loss on the environment will be less, that there is a decision criteria 5. In more complex situation, it is likely to be much more finely balanced decision. Now, whether in the exam, for any strategic decision the company needs to take, any product launch, any takeover of any company, organic, inorganic development, any new market exercise, anything, आप ये 5 points लगा सकते हैं, that whether this should be done or not. Now you don't need to exactly remember ki profitability, legal, fair, right or sustainability I need to write. You need to think that all stakeholders, one stakeholder, shareholders, financiers, for them the profit. The other stakeholders you can say general public, environment, sustainability. The other is government, regulatory authorities, forcing agencies. The fourth is you can say whether it will be more or less of money acceptable to all the stakeholders. If it is under those lines covered, then it is a right decision, should be done. You understand that you cannot satisfy everybody in the world. That's we need to discount. If suppose there are different types of stakeholder, most of them are satisfied. One of the stakeholder are not fully satisfied, but still your advice will be that we should be doing that. Because if we will be doing that, we are able to give maximum satisfaction. Even God cannot satisfy everybody, all of us. Not possible. कोई जन God से दुखी है, कोई जन खुशी है. 100% satisfaction हर आदमी को आपके कोई भी काम से नहीं मिलेगा. There is nothing in this world which can say that 100% satisfaction. You need to compromise here and there. And while doing our job, we always need to think about public interest. Public interest means what? I am doing audit for clients. I am working in an organization. I am thinking about my boss, my company, my colleagues, my seniors and all that. But first my responsibility is the general public. Anything which is against the public interest, you can say CSR, pollution, anything which is against the public interest should never be advised. Because as a professional, the first duty is towards the public. Then the second duty comes to your clients, to your boss, to your organization, to your colleagues or anybody. International Federation of Accountants have said that any professional person, an accountant, financial accountant, management accountant, anybody, because IFAC is under IFAC, Indian CA Institute, Indian CWA, ACCA, CIMA, all are included. International Federation of Accountants. Every institute need to follow the guidelines of IFAC. And IFAC says that every professional qualified persons, as a chartered accountant, as a management accountant, as a professional, has a duty towards the entire society, good of the society, benefit of the whole society. The professional should never be doing anything, should never be suggesting anything which is against the public interest. Never. You can read this once. This is written. I can see that in the next class, before proceeding further, I will be giving one question in the class. With the start only. I will be giving you all 10, 20, 25, 30 minutes to write the answer. You will be submitting the answer. I will be evaluating in front of you all what you have done. And at the same time, I will be telling you that other questions also, these are the good questions you can do. I will mail you also. You can do those questions. But first of all, read the technical write-up once, maybe not required, but read that. Do the class again. Make your notes, do the things which we have done again. Then you can go to the next leg. And in the chapter, 1 or 2 questions you should be doing in writing. Otherwise, you will never get feeling. Feeling will only come when you do in writing. And whether it's a CIMA strategic case study, ACCA, SBL, any case study exam, the exam is same. Write up in theory. No objective type, nothing. All you need to explain with the thought process which you cannot build up unless and until you start practicing in writing. After 2-3 classes only, you will find that so many things we have covered. So if you don't pick up from now, you will be facing problem. After 1 month, after 10 classes, you will find that where I am. I don't know anything. Which happened with many students when they start. उनको लगेगा ये तो मेरे रेलेवेंट नहीं है, ये तो ACCA का, ये सब नहीं है. आप ये सब मत सोचिए. सारा चीज आपके लिए रेलेवेंट, अगर आपको पास होना है, पूरा इसी डायरेक्शन में पढ़ना है. If you have not done the first class, first, second, both the class, complete the recordings, make your notes, follow the instructions which I said. Otherwise, believe me, after few classes only you will be missing the target. Writing practice is a must regularly, whatever you have. Because आपको exam देना है तो आपको वो करना होगा, कोई option नहीं है. So, please follow my instructions. It is very easy exam. It is not mugging up or anything. But you need to be practical oriented. You need to develop yourself to give this exam. Okay? Leaving for today, meeting next week Monday with a test. Thank you to all of you. Take care. Tada.